What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be going through and doing episode number 27 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' squads of the best teams possible for my team showdown, or whatever you might be playing, just help you build the best 10-man lineup possible. And before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. We got 6 teams here as per normal to go through and rate. And we're going to start with this first one today, which comes in from Lebeanst. He says he's going to have about 2-point-something mil after he sells his Opal Wimby. It must be a really souped Opal Wimby for you to think that, but either way, Opal Wimby will get you a lot of MT, that's for sure. So I'm looking at this team. The two biggest holes are pretty obvious: Dyson Daniels and Dennis Rodman. Now, I don't hate Dyson as a card, but I do think at this point he's not quite as elite as some of the other point guards. And you also already have your tall size point guard in Magic. So in my opinion, I would want more of an offensive point guard off the bench. Now you have Austin Reeves because you have the Pro Pass, because I see Pro Pass B-Roy. I would just run Reeves. That's my opinion. The key to running Reeves is having size around him, though. And that's why I would go Reeves at the 1, with like a Dr. J with some extra badges and stuff at the 2. You can get a soup Dr. J for 200-300 KMT very easily. Pink Diamond Dr. J. That's what I would do. And then your backup small forward could be somebody like Jonathan Bender. Find a Jonathan Bender with a couple extra defensive hops and stuff and get him as a 7-footer. So you're going to have that size in your bench to go next to Reeves. So you still have size and switchability. And then Reeves gives you that shot creating option. Also, I think having a couple shot creators in your bench could be nice because your starters don't have a lot of shot creation. So to me, that's another area where I think you would benefit overall, basically, is my thought process, which is my thought process with those bench changes. So buying Bender, buying Dr. J, and then getting Reeves back in that lineup, in my opinion, at least, makes a lot of sense. So those are my thoughts for this first squad. Second team today comes in from Lucas. Says he's got DeAndre Jordan at backup center, Jaren at backup power forward, and Brand is at backup small forward. I'm looking at this team. It's kind of hard to follow. I gotta be totally honest with you. It's not like, I don't know, it's not a bad team, but I mean, it's not a very good team at this point either. And you have some nice pieces, but you said you have no MT. The problem with a team like this, when you have no MT, that generally means that you've been spending MT on packs, which is a terrible idea. So first and foremost, before we even try to help the team, we got to talk about that. You cannot be opening packs with MT, plain and simple. Never do it. It's just not a good idea at all. So that's number one before anything else. Is you got to stop doing that. But number 2, I would say realistically, the grind for Bob McAdoo and domination could actually be really helpful for this team. I feel like it's an area, he's the type of player that would really help you out as a whole, and it would give you your best power forward, number 1, but it also make you a lot of MT, like 150k MT, and then you can use that MT to get budget cards. Kalel Ware at center, so you have Kalel and Sar as your centers, and then you can run Bob McAdoo at either Dirk or Jaren as your backup power forwards. Elton at small forward is okay, but you could always get a Pink Diamond Jonathan Bender or somebody like that if you wanted to, or Opal Gerald Wallace. Maybe you could save for Galaxy Opal Alex Caruso at backup point guard. He'd be a nice upgrade. Like, there's just a lot of different pieces and things. Like Matt Barnes would probably be your best shooting guard, and he's 6,000 MT. Like, you get 150k MT, you're gonna have the flexibility to add a lot of different budget cards and things like that to your lineup, and then you can build off of that. And so for me, that's what I would want to do with a team like this, and that's why I recommend domination for this type of a squad personally, because I think it'll help you out a lot in terms of making MT and having more flexibility to upgrade the team. Third team today comes in from Cause, 400,000 MT ish. Could use some point guard help, in my opinion. I don't love Harden. I don't mind PG and J Rich. I would still think personally Matt Barnes might be better than both those guys, maybe. Beasley and Bender at small forwards is phenomenal. Alex Sarr, Jaren Jackson Jr. at power forwards isn't great, but it's not terrible. And then you got Vlade and Kareem as well. Definitely got to find a spot for Kalel Ware first and foremost. He should probably be your starting power forward next to Vlade. And then you could have Jaren or Sarr. Well, 2 of Jaren, Sarr, and Kareem as your backup bigs. Really your choice which of those 3 you want to use, which 2 of those 3 you want to use as your backup bigs. But that solves your big men at this point, in my opinion, if you pick up Kalel Ware. Point guard, I'm assuming you don't have the Pro Pass, so I would say Reeves, but I don't think you have the opportunity to get him. I would get Caruso. He's just way better than Harden. Run Caruso and Levine. And then your shooting guards, you got to make sure you get that Brandon Roy. I don't mind Paul George. I don't mind Jay Rich. But I would only want to use one of those guys, you know what I mean? And then I'd have Brandon Roy starting at your shooting guard position. You got to make sure you take advantage of him and get him before this season is over. You will not regret it at all. So that is first and foremost, in my opinion, is that you definitely want to make sure that you get those cards added to the team. So that's how I think I can help that squad. 1.4 mil for Machino. I mean, team's looking pretty solid. I would say it's not too bad at all. Point guards, I mean, Caruso and Reeves is pretty good, honestly. And with 1.4 mil, I mean, the only point guard who's got more size, who you're really going to add as a big upgrade, is somebody like I guess Cade Cunningham, but he's not a big upgrade. I don't think he's really better than Caruso or Reeves. He's just taller. Honestly, here's the thought. If you're worried about size at point guard, just get a Diamond Dyson Daniels to throw in your last 3. So you have an option with more size in case you're getting like killed by Magic, for example. But otherwise, I kind of think you're chilling when it comes to that. Now, shooting guards, I don't mind at all. Small forwards, I really don't mind at all either. I mean, Karl Malone could be replaced with a Michael Beasley if you want more offense. That's an option. Or Jonathan Bender if you want more size. Like, you could definitely do that. Power forwards, I would just replace AD with Khalil Ware. He's just so good and such an easy upgrade. And then centers, D-Rob and Gobert. I think you could run Vlade instead of Gobert. Personally, I think he's better. You could also, with the amount of MT you have, you do have the ability to go get like a Pink Diamond Victor Wembanyama or something like that if you want to. You could run Vlade and Wemby as your power forward or as your centers, or Vlade and one of D-Rob. Or maybe Vlade and D-Rob if you want to save the MT. That could also be an option. Sorry, Wemby and D-Rob could be an option. So either way, this is a good looking squad. Definitely has a lot of MT flexibility in my personal opinion. Second team today comes in from Smill. He's got a 1.6 mil. And he's got Harden, Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and Dwayne Wade as his point guards and shooting guards. He has 4 point guards as his 4 point guards as his point guard shooting guards butts. So that's not ideal. I like Khalil Ware. I love Wemby. Julius Randle probably should go unless you really love that. Unless you really love that duo. But to me, I would literally get rid of everybody on this team except for Reeves. Maybe your small forwards, Khalil and Wemby. That's about it. That would stay. Maybe AD stays too. So Khalil and AD is your power forwards. Wemby at the 5, Vlade at the backup 5. Point guards should be Reeves and Caruso. Shooting guards should be, well, you're only level 17. If you could get B-Roy before the end of the season, that'd be nice. But for now, you could just run Ricky Davis and Matt Barnes as your shooting guards. And then I guess small forward position stays the same. I think that's probably how I change the team. If you wanted to swap the small forward position out, you could get a Bender or a Rudy Gay or a Michael Beasley or somebody like that to replace AK. I would keep Tatum realistically, just with how much, just with the fact that he's an unsellable card. I don't think he's the best card in the world, but he is unsellable, so he's not a bad option at all. And then the final team today comes in from Trey. He's got 980,000 MT. I mean, look, it's a good squad. I don't know about Dr. J at the 3. I don't know about Paul George backup 3 either. I feel like it's a little bit small, but I do think he's looking really, really solid. I don't know. The bench is small too. I feel like Morrison, I'm assuming you're running Embiid and Wilt as your bigs. Khalil Ware, I suggest him for every team, but he's a no-brainer upgrade to start off with. Whether you start him at power forward and then bring McAdoo off the bench at power forward, whether you replace one of Kareem or Wilt with him, you could do that. Point guards being Reeves and Castle, I'd upgrade Castle to Alex Caruso. Shooting guards, B-Roy and Dr. J. Small forwards, that's the position where you're going to want to buy some cards again. I feel like I'm building the same team for everybody, basically. But I'm trying to help you out as best as possible. I think Beasley, Bender, Rudy Gay, Gerald Wallace, 2 of those 4. Depends who fits your play style. But 2 of those 4 guys is, again, who I would personally be trying to target. And yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts for this team as well. And that is going to do it for this video today. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. And I appreciate y'all. Peace.